It is somehow already time for us to do the mid-year freakout tag. Still feels like January to me.
It's going by so fast. We say that in every video, but time is just flying by and it's crazy. We did film this tag last year and absolutely loved it, so we wanted to sit down and go through all the questions again today. I've only read 37 books this year.
I've only read 36. So while I was preparing my answers for this tag, I felt like I don't have enough to truly give a good answer. Some of my answers are gonna repeat. We gotta step it up. We gotta get off of TikTok. We gotta get off of social media. We need to spend more time reading because 36 books is good.
But for our personal goals,
it's not.
We did pick answers for all the questions. We're just gonna go ahead and get into them. I'm interested to see which ones you picked. Question number 1 is, what is the best book you've read so far in 2023?
I'm gonna say The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna was fantastic. Our main characters are women, and you're seeing how they impacted this war and how they helped and trying to make it an easier time for everyone, for their families, for their neighbors, for their loved ones. It was really intriguing and such a powerful story. Everybody knew I was going to love this, and you guys were right. I did really enjoy it. I was laughing, I was crying. There was a lot of heartbreak, and you really get to know like all the characters and you want the best for them. I now know this is being turned into an adaptation with Dakota and Elle Fanning playing the main sisters. That is going to be so freaking good. I can't wait for everybody to see that trailer and then start reading this book. It's gonna be you.
Oh, I think because I just recently finished this book, it's fresh on my mind, and it was just such a good book that I had to pick it, and it is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J Maas, the last book in the Throne of Glass series. And I mean, it was just a fantastic ending to a phenomenal series. Because of how much we love ACOTAR, everyone was saying we would probably love Throne of Glass so much more. I'm interested to see what you're gonna think when you start it, but I definitely liked this series a lot more than ACOTAR. It was just fantastic. This book, even though it's almost 1,000 pages, I definitely, a lot of times with long books, feel like it could have been 100 pages shorter, or it didn't need as much as they were giving us. This needed every page that it had. I thought it was so well done. I definitely think it's worth all the hype it gets.
Question number 2 is, what is the best sequel you've read so far in 2023?
I'm gonna say mine was The Reaper by Runex. This is book 2 in the Dark Verse series. You guys know that I had been desperately searching for a good Mafia romance because I always felt like it was very cringy or they weren't well developed. This series I'm absolutely in love with. Book 1 was fantastic, left off on a cliffhanger. This book came through. Such a good sequel, such a good storyline and plot. I think if you're trying to get into the dark romance genre and you want a Mafia romance, this one's definitely it. I think this was the best sequel by far. Let's be real though, I didn't read many sequels yet this year. I feel like I've read a lot of first books.
I kind of cheated on this question because I picked the Mind F series because it is a full series. Even though I did read this whole book in one, it's a series.
It's 5 books.
Yeah, so is it technically cheating? No. You guys know already, this is about a woman who is a serial killer and she ends up dating an FBI agent who is working on her case. I mean, that already captivated me. It should captivate you. You get to learn the reasons why this girl is the way she is. It's kind of like the show Dexter, where you're understanding like his motive and where he comes from. Our female main character is such a strong woman. There's really nothing not to love in this book. Everything is fun. It's sad. There's a lot of triggers in there. There's the romance in there, the mystery in there. Everything is in here, and I think that's what made it what it is. It never got boring. It was always entertaining. There's always something going down. It made you feel every emotion that you could feel, and those are always great books to me. Yeah, good answer.
Good answer. Good answer. Moving on, question number 3 is, what is a new release you haven't read yet but want to?
I already own it too. Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. Now, here's my reasoning on why I haven't read it yet. This one is following a character that we do meet in the first book, but I just wasn't really feeling him, and that's pretty much why I haven't started this one. But I do want to continue on with the series because the first one I really did enjoy. I loved the whole small town and getting to meet everybody. It was cozy, Gilmore Girls vibes. It was perfect. So I do think I would like this one. I just need to give it a chance already. Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I've already said it multiple times, but I want to start that author. I feel like she's giving Taylor Jenkins Reid, she's giving like Emily Henry, that kind of author that's going to put out a book and like you automatically just want to buy it just because you like her writing. I feel like that's how she's she's gonna be for me, because that's how she is for all of the book girlies that I do love. So I hope by the end of the year I have read her books.
Mine, I don't own them, but I've got a bunch that came out this year and I haven't read yet. So up first, I have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I follow her on TikTok. She just came out with a book. She self-published. I want to read it so bad. It's a romance fantasy book and it sounds so good, so I desperately want to read that one. I also really want to read In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. I've loved every book that I've read so far by him, and that's his newest release. We saw it in stores and I haven't gotten it yet, but I definitely want to read that one. And also How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. I need it for the fall and I haven't bought it yet.
The next question is, what is the most anticipated release for the second half of the year?
For this one, I put Draconara. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's the new series that Runex is putting out sometime this year, and I'm so excited for it. I really liked Gothicana last year, and I'm loving the Dark First series like I said earlier in this video, but this is like her new series. It says it's going to be a dark fantasy romance series, 4 kingdoms, 3 books, 2 prophecies, 1 couple. This just sounds so good. I love her writing. I can't wait to read it. She also always has really good book covers, so I'm waiting to see what she's gonna do for these.
The one I'm most excited for is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I really liked his book Lock Every Door and The House Across the Lake, so I'm sure I'm gonna like this one too. Anytime he's gonna publish a new book, I'm gonna be a supporter and buy it.
We came today not knowing each other's answers for these, but I did just see we picked the same book for this question, which is hilarious. And the question is, what was the biggest disappointment of 2023?
Indigo Ridge.
This was so upsetting, you guys. I just really thought the idea of a mystery romance, I thought I was gonna love it just like everyone else, and I thought I was gonna immediately buy the rest of the series, and that just wasn't the case. I didn't like anything about this book.
Before we started it too, I was like, this is giving the Mind F, because you have the romance, but you also have a murder mystery going on. And like with the Mind F, it never got boring, so I really thought this was gonna be like that. Next is, what was the biggest surprise?
Okay, for me, I chose If He Had Been With Me by Lauren Nolan, because I did know going into it was a YA story, and I always tend to love YA books, but I was not expecting it to have the impact that it did on me. I wasn't expecting to give it a 5-star, so that's why I think it's like the biggest surprise of the year so far. It's basically just like a YA devastating tragic love story. And to me, this is my Normal People. Like how people feel about Normal People by Sally Rooney. That's how I felt about this book. It's like one of those right person, wrong time. They keep missing each other and it's just like so sad to watch. I just really love this book.
For me, I picked The Selection by Kira Cass. This one had been sitting on my shelf forever until you picked it out for me to read. That is the biggest surprise, because I wouldn't have picked it up. It would have stayed on my shelf unread. And this is a book that I gave 5 stars to. I really enjoyed it. It was trashy. It was fun. There was The Bachelor, but it was also The Hunger Games. I was locked in the whole time. That is the only way I can like explain to you how I felt. Glued to the book, never wanted to put it down. That's how the reading experience should be with every single book that we read. I'm so excited to continue on with the series. I loved the little love triangle that was going on. The YA was just perfect because it's easy, it's fun. It was just a good time.
The next question is, what is your new favorite author? Either a debut author or an author new to you.
So I have a few here. I read Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. Really loved it. I've decided anything that she comes out with, I'm gonna read it. All of her old books, I want to read it. I also really enjoyed Frida McFadden. I know you didn't love her book. I thought the Housemaid series was really fun and entertaining and short and fast. Kira Cass, my selection girly. I'm excited to read all of her work. Miss Lucy's Score. She seems like everything she puts out I want to read. It's just her sizes.
Yeah.
The sizes of them are so intimidating, but her storylines all sound really good too. So it's been a good year of new authors for me.
Definitely. I loved R.F. Kuang's writing in The Poppy War. It was next level. I think since I read so many YA fantasy, that reading my first adult or new adult fantasy was such a big step up, and her writing was phenomenal. I definitely want to read more by her. I also really liked Alice Feeney's writing, despite popular opinion, because I know a lot of people in the book club did not love her writing in Daisy Darker. I loved it. So I definitely want to read more by her as well.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, because I really enjoyed hers.
Next is, who is your newest fictional crush?
This one was a fun one, and I knew as soon as I read this book too that this man was it for me, and it was The Predator by Runex. I'm talking about this series a lot in this video, but for good reason. Him in this is what I need, you guys. In a dark romance, This is the kind of man that I'm always looking for and I don't always get. In the series, he's pretty high up in the mob, so he has like a reputation. He's very lethal. It's delicious. I also really like in this series, the female main character is like very opposite of that, but yet they have to work together to like uncover a mystery. It's brilliant. Honestly, everyone go read this book. I take it back what I said earlier. Even if you're not trying to get into the genre, I would just go read it anyway because it's that good. And he's amazing. So I'd say Tristan Kane.
Okay. For me, I'm gonna pick Aaron Warner. I finally understand. I was originally Team Adam before I knew better. Just like the Akachar, when you're like, yeah, Tamlin's great, and then you realize he's trash, and you're like, Reese is it. Same thing here. I want Juliet's endgame to be with Aaron Warner. I think he's perfect for her. He's so hot. He says it like it is. He doesn't hold anything back. He's such a strong... He's a man, you know?
Yeah,
he's not a boy. Like, there's not going to be any miscommunication. This is how it is. He says what he means, and I love that.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
I'm a fan now too.
Yeah, you're Team Aaron.
The next question is, who is your newest favorite character?
Kenji from the Shadow Me series. He's like the comedy relief character. Like, everything he says is freaking funny. Every conversation he has, it's just a good time. Even if something's so sad and stressful, like, he's gonna be the one to make it not so serious and like light. I really like Kenji.
Yeah, I'm also gonna talk about a book I've already talked about, and you guys already knew I was gonna pull it out. Let's be real, any character in this book could be considered my new favorite character, but Aelin Galathynius is always gonna be at the top of the pyramid for me. However, in this book, Dorian came in clutch. I was actually very pleasantly surprised with his character development, and Dorian in this book really did it. He might end up in my top 5.
Oh.
Don't ask me who the rest of the top
Okay.
5 are.
The next question is, what is a book that has made you cry?
I've been crying a lot this year, I think. I'm gonna try not to mention other books that I've already mentioned in this video, but I did cry during a bunch. And instead I picked Before the Coffee Gets Cold. This is basically just a bunch of short stories that takes place in a time-traveling cafe in Japan. And a lot of these were just like really emotional and heartwarming. I think going into this too, I knew it was gonna be sad, but I didn't really expect to cry. And I did tear up a time or two, I will say. This one was good.
With some of the other books that we've said, I cried through those. I think this has been a less crying year for me though.
Okay.
I think last year was pretty intense. I'm gonna pick Carrie Soto. Now, am I crying happy tears or am I crying sad tears? Guess you don't really know unless you've read the book. Am I crying both? This book was really good. Anything Taylor Jenkins writes, I really like. Following Carrie Soto, she's a tennis player. You just see her growing and she's just trying to win the tennis championship. It was emotional, it was really powerful. It was really good. I hope this turns into a movie.
The next question is the opposite. What is a book that has made you happy?
Mary Jane. Mary Jane was another surprising one for me. It was a lot of fun. Basically, we're just following a really young girl. She has grown up in a super conservative household. Like, her parents do not mess around. They are really strict. And she ends up nannying for a family that's not like that at all, like completely opposite. So this family's lifestyle is very different, so she's introduced to a lot of new things. There's also some rock star lifestyle in there, so she's like
Going crazy.
She is going crazy. She's having a good time, but she's also seeing the world in a different way. Everything's so shocking to her, so it's cool to see it from her perspective. A really good beach read.
I haven't really read many happy books this year.
Here you go.
Yeah, I might have to. I decided to just go with the one I recently read, which was One Last Stop. I said it last year that I don't read many happy books. I guess I didn't change that because I didn't really have an answer for this, but this one was a very lighthearted read. It's like a queer romance, there's time travel. Oh, I've been reading a lot of time travel books this year. I thought it was really fun and interesting. I think one of the most lighthearted reads too, so I decided to do this one. But I will say, one that made me happy while reading was Gallant by V.E. Schwab. I didn't even bring it, but I thought about it just now. It's not necessarily a happy type of book, but I just had a really good time reading it.
Next is, what is the most beautiful book you've bought or received this year?
I bought me this series, this entire series. This was the Dark and Quirky special edition books of The Boys of Zodiac, which is basically just like the prequel to the Zodiac Academy series. And these are so pretty. I only brought the first one because they're kind of really heavy, but they each have like these pretty dust jackets. And then on the inside, the actual,
Ooh.
I know, the actual hardcover are gorgeous. But there's 5 books in this series. They're beautiful. I want to finish Zodiac first so that I can read this and meet all these new characters. But Yeah, I'm gonna say these. Probably my favorite purchase of this year.
I'm just gonna have to go with this one because this is just giving everything I love. You got the white flowers, you got the pink. This is beautiful. This is me.
That is you.
Right? My next profile picture is gonna have this book in it just because it's so cute.
The last question is, and the most loaded question I would say, what do you want to read before 2023 ends?
This is so embarrassing because I have the exact same answer as last year's, and that was just to freaking finish the Addicted / Calloway Sisters series. I know you're probably not going to. Like, everything I've heard from you, I think you're done. I think you've had enough. I have to finish it because there's no way I've made it through all of these and I'm just gonna stop, you know? I have 2 more and I'm done. I can do it. I know I can. The next book is Long Way Down. That's Daisy and Reich's book. They're my favorite, so I have to see how they're gonna end and then let's just wrap it up. I have so many books on my freaking shelf right now that I haven't read that it's so overwhelming at this point that I really just want to like bring down my physical TBR number. I've updated it on Goodreads. That number is the amount that I have unread and it's like 150. I really want to just lower that number.
Yeah.
Nothing specific, just lower it.
Despite what you think, I do think I need to finish that series too. I know that I'm just not loving where they're at right now in the series, but I need to finish it because honestly, I'm just sick of looking at it. I feel like there's so many books that we had to purchase for that too.
We can do it.
I know I can do it. I just am not having a good time doing it. But I do want to finish that series. I think that series and then my second longest series that I have is the Zodiac Academy one, and I would love to get that done. I need to read book 7. I need to purchase book 8, and then book 9 should be coming out soon, and that's it. So if I can get that done by this year, that would be fantastic, and that would be my 2 longest series done.
We can do it.
We could do it. I'd also love to finish Harry Potter, but I don't know if that's gonna happen.
So that was all the questions. Not too hard. I just wish we had like a good amount of books.
I know.
To go off of.
And we are hard on ourselves though. Like, this is still a good amount, but next year we're gonna kill it when it comes to this tag. We're gonna have so many to choose from. I'm speaking it into existence. It's the second half of the year and we're gonna get it going.
Yeah.
This is our wake up call.
Yeah.
We're rating now.
This is it.
This is it.
We're gonna have passed our goal. This was so much fun to film. We are gonna wanna film this video every single year. Let us know y'all's answers. They're tough.
They are tough. And if you don't want to answer them all, at least give us your favorite book from the year so far and maybe like your biggest disappointment. Those are the 2 good ones. That's pretty much going to be it for today's video, but some book club updates. We did want to say that now we are Fable affiliates, which is crazy. We absolutely love the app. We've had a great time reading the books with you guys. Our book club pick for this month is Fourth Wing, and it's been hard to find. We initially bought it on Amazon and it won't be here until July. So we are just going to end up reading the ebook on the Fable app. If you haven't been able to find it yet and you don't mind reading the ebook, you can buy it on Fable and then we can read together. It lets us annotate and leave little notes so we can all interact with each other while reading, which I think will be really cool. If you found the book though, kudos to you. We do want to eventually get the physical copy as well, but ours just won't be here in time, so we're going to be reading the ebook. It should be fun, and it's the first time we're reading an ebook on Fable, so we want to check it out. If you're not already a part of our Literal Besties book club and you want to join, that link is always in the description and it's free to join. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you next time. I just saw we have the same book for the next one.
You spoiled it.
Well, you looked at mine anyway.
I didn't even realize it.
I don't know. I wouldn't read any other ones.
I'm not pushing for it. Maybe if we see it at one of our thrifting places we go to, maybe I'll pick it up.
You're like, but not full price.
I don't think I can pay full price. Yours is like heartbreaking and like super emotional, and mine's
so
like
sad.
trashy. You got The Bachelor.
But they're both surprising.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw up after reading that book
Oh.
because it was just like that emotional.
This was giving Vanessa Williams movie that they made.
King's something.
Yeah, King Arthur or something.
King Arthur.
I don't know if it's King Arthur.
I'm like, that sounds like something from Night at the Round Table.
Yeah, okay, maybe not. She is going crazy. She's having a good time, but she's also seeing the world in a different way.
She's the embodiment of Mary Jane.
Yeah, she is Mary Jane.
Is Mary Jane. Alexa, play that clip with MGK. I am weird.
What? I don't even know what you're talking about. This one was just a lot of fun. You get to see everything from her point of view too, in her eyes. So like a new light. Like, I don't know.
A whole new world.
it?
I don't know. Okay, I have them fanned out.
Okay,